Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, we will be looking at how to secure a former employee's data. When an employee leaves the organization, the user's account is usually deleted, and in an environment where Microsoft 365 is used to manage users and their data, this implies that when a user is deleted, their data is deleted as well. I have experience where the IT admin wants to access the employee's data after some months and nothing can be done. This is because once a user's account is deleted in Office 365 without securing the data also becomes inaccessible after 30 days of deletion. So I'm going to be showing you how to best secure the user's data so you can always have access to it. And yeah, let's get started. So before we could do this, you need to be a global admin. Here, as you can see, we're logged in as a global admin, and that's why we have the admin option showing on the left-hand side. So we just click on admin to go to the main admin center and get started. All right, so first thing we want to do is to block this user from signing in. So I have a user here with Steve, and I would either want to change his password or block his signing. So in a case where you feel like, okay, users might still need to log in, or you might want to manually log into Steve's account to see what he has going on, you can either reset his password or you block his sign-in. So in my case, I want to do block sign-in. So I'm going to click on block sign-in, check the box to block the sign-in of the user, and then we click on save changes. Okay, good. So this user has been signed out of all sessions and sign-in has been blocked. That means even if the user has an active session currently, the user has been automatically signed out, and if the user tries to sign in again, the user is blocked. Alright, cool. So now, what's the next thing? Let's try to work on the user's mailbox. Let's see what can we do on the mailbox and how do we do that. So yes, this is showing that the sign-in is blocked. And so for the mailbox, we just come to show all on the left hand side and we go to Exchange. So in the Exchange Admin Center, we try to see some of the things that we could do on this user's mailbox to see if it could be accessible. And yeah, let's just see what we could do. So we click on Save again. And yes, we have options, different options that we can set up. So since this user is no longer in the organization, we block the user sign in. What happens to his emails? So we can either set up email forwarding, which we can do from here, or we come to mailboxes and we click on manage email forwarding. This means that incoming emails will be forwarded to another user. That's just for the incoming email. So if you want that, you can click on manage and we turn on forwarding. Since we want it to be internal, you search for whose email we want. So I'm going to select Dan IT and we click on add and we save. I'm not going to check this option because I don't want it to save a copy on Steve's mailbox. So I just want it to forward directly to Dan, and we click on save changes. So we have this option of forwarding, or we can set up delegate access. We can give Dan delegate access to Steve mailbox. So this means both old and incoming email, Dan can have access to it. So once we come to delegation on Steve's account, we just go to read and manage, which is the full access. So we click on edit and we add a member. The member we're adding here is Dan, and we click on save. So we confirm our permission. So this means that Dan would have Steve's account show up in his Outlook automatically. So when next he closes Outlook and reopen, Steve mailbox will show as an additional account. You can also add that on the Outlook web, which I'll be showing you how to do that or access it on the Outlook web. So yes, now Dan can access Steve's mailbox, and he can also receive incoming email from Dan since we have set up forwarding. So what's next? Another thing we could have a look at is let's see, does that Steve has his account set up on a mobile app. So what we just need to do is come to general, still in the Exchange Admin Center. We'll scroll down on the email apps and mobile devices. We click on manage mobile device and we'll check to see none is listed. So if Steve had added his account to the Outlook mobile app, that device will be listed here. And if the device is listed, we just have to check that device, wipe company starter, block access, or delete device. So that way it removes Steve's mailbox from his Outlook mobile app on his mobile device. But in this case, we don't have that, so we're all good to go. So we go to next. Not yet. We're not deleting the user yet. Yes, I know what you're thinking about that, but no. In this case, we're not going to be deleting the user. And I know you're probably thinking, what about the license? I can't be paying for extra license for a user that is no longer in the organization. Yes, we'll get to that. And so before we go ahead and unassign license, what we have to do is convert the user's mailbox to a shared mailbox. Currently is a user mailbox, and that's why we see it here. So now if we want to do that, we'll have to come to orders, and we'll do convert to shared mailbox. Now there's a clause here. If the user's mailbox is not more than 50 gig, then we can go ahead and do the convert to shared mailbox. But if it's more than, it would require a license. And so that's the thing. So in a case where, yes, I have a user and his mailbox storage size usage, the usage is more than 50 gig, what do I do? Then you have to apply litigation hold, where you now have to use the e-discovery tool in the compliance admin center to search for the mailbox if you want to have access to it, which we'll be looking at in later video. But this is for users mailbox that are still within the 50 gig range. So in this case, Steve is within that range, so we'll come to orders, still in the Exchange admin center. We click on convert to shared mailbox, and we'll confirm our action, and then we just wait for it to do the conversion. So yes, this has been converted to a shared mailbox, and then all we just need to do is do a quick refresh, and this should change to shared mailbox. So what about Steve's OneDrive? What if he has items in his OneDrive? How do we go about that? Who can log in to get the data? Yeah, so you can either reset, that's why we said you can either reset Steve's password to log in manually and download, or you can just simply block. But how do I now do that? How do I now access his OneDrive? As a global admin, you can come back to the main admin center, come to OneDrive, and this is done before unassigning the license from Steve's account. So the main admin center, we click on Saves Account, we go to OneDrive, and we click on Create Link to File. A link to access Steve's OneDrive. You can open this on a new tab to see what Steve has on his OneDrive for Business. So allow this to load, and voila. So these are all the items Steve has in his OneDrive. So what do I do? Do I want to download? Do I want to have access to it? As a global admin, you probably do not need all this, but maybe Steve has shared this file with some other users, and if he has, you would see the sharing status shared with the user will be stated here. But in this case, this has not been shared with anyone. So you can simply download by checking all the items you want to download. You can click on download, you can click on move to, or copy to. You can move to another a shared file, which is maybe a SharePoint, or you can copy to a shared file or a SharePoint site either. But what if you're not the one that needs to manage this and you want to give someone else access, maybe still done access to manage Steve's OneDrive? So what we have to do, we come back to the main admin center. Let's close this out, and then we go to the SharePoint admin page. So we click on SharePoint. So this takes us to the SharePoint admin. Okay, yeah, we're in, and now we have to go to more features. We go to user profiles, we open that, we wait for it to load. So this step we're doing is to give someone else access to Steve's OneDrive files. So we come to manage user profile under people. So click on manage user profiles. We allow that to load. Voila. So now we'll search for the user that we want. In this case, we're searching for Steve, and we click on find. This would show Steve name. brings out Steve's account. So we click on this and we go to manage sites collection owners. This will load and open up the page. Voila. So what we now want to do is add Dan to have access to Steve's sites, because even if we shared the link we generated, Dan will still won't be able to access. So what we just have to do is type in Daniel's name, and then we'll click on this little icon to check name, and yes, Daniel has been identified, and we'll click on OK. So once that is done, we can now go ahead and we come back to OneDrive. We'll create the link again, and we can share that link with Daniel so Daniel can access this. We can easily share this. We'll copy link, share it via Teams chat or email, and Dan would just access the URL just the way as you did, and Dan can easily download or access or make changes to the OneDrive files. So now once this is already done for the user, so once this is done, we'll come back to the main admin center and unassign the user's license. So we just click on Steve, we go to licenses and apps, we uncheck the license, and we click on save changes, and we close this out. So now user is unassigned the license. If we come back to the Exchange admin center, we'll still see Steve's mailbox showing. If the user gets unassigned without converting it to a shared mailbox, Steve's mailbox will no longer be showing in the Exchange admin center. So, but because we converted it before unassigning, we have his mailbox intact. So now we just come to the active user. We can simply just say Steve. We can change the display name so for easy identification. Sorry, this for yeah, manage contacts, and we can just say job title or let's see, just say Steve, former staff or ex-staff right here. Something like that, and we can save changes. So you have that showing. Then do not forget, since the license has been unassigned, you have one free license. If you have another user, you can assign the license to the user. But if you do not have, you have to come to billing, your product, and reduce the seat count for that particular license, because if not, you're going to be paying for it and you would be charged. So yes, that is it for this video, and thank you so much for staying in and watching. Please do not forget to click on like, subscribe, share, and yes, we can communicate and drop some comments. Thank you. Bye. here. So now this is Steve's email. So we just click on this and we go to manage site collection owners. So once we click on manage site collection owners, it comes up with another page, and here would try to add Dan to the site owners. So right, so it brings to the main admin center.